Hello, Viking fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Viking Talk with Coach Josh Morgan. I'm Brandon Davis, and as always, great to have with us Warren Central head football coach Josh Morgan. Coach, great to see you.
You too, Brandon.
Well, we opened up our district play last week at home against Oak Grove. A lot of ways to describe this one, but bottom line, a very disappointing 37-20 loss against the Warriors. You've had a chance to watch it, digest it again. What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, we knew Oak Grove was going to be a very tough opponent, very good football team, very well coached, and we knew that coming in it was going to take a really good night from us and executing and really playing our best, and it was going to take our best, and we didn't play our very best. I didn't feel like I was disappointed because I think the want to was there and the desire was there, but we just didn't play very well, and I'm more disappointed at missing that opportunity that we had, that I thought that was a really good opportunity, and I just didn't feel like that we gave our best effort, and I feel like that we have a better football team than that, and it was hard on us, and it was hard to get anything going, and but again, we knew coming in that they were a very good ball club.
Well, it was a 37-6 game, but our offense did fight back, Coach. I know you got to be glad of that, made it a more respectful score. Discuss the offensive effort, but let's talk also about the importance of starting fast rather than trying to catch up in the fourth quarter.
Well, we gave up a touchdown right before halftime. That was a really it was a tough play. It was tough. It was kind of a gut punch. We were sitting at 9-0, playing really good and sticking to our game plan and playing well. And I feel like that was really a cheap touchdown that we gave up, and kind of took the wind out of our sails. Give up an opening second half kick, onside kick, and we hold them there, and we come back offensively and score at 16-6. As bad as we've been playing, as bad of a night it's been. We had 3 possessions of offense the entire first half. We couldn't get off the field defensively. And as all that, all the bad breaks, all the stuff not going our way, as bad as we were executing, 16-6, with the former state champs in the middle of the third quarter, and so there's a lot to look at, and I'm all about trying to get better and growing and using experiences to get better. I don't think we ever stopped playing. I don't think we ever stopped fighting. Finally hit some shots that were there earlier. We just missed them offensively. In the passing game, you have to take advantage of your opportunities, and we didn't do that. We started hitting them late, but they were there earlier, and I don't think we played bad offensively. We just couldn't stay on the field, and so it was just a conglomerate of a bunch of different things, and it just didn't go our way, and the result was what we all saw.
But you had to be happy, though. I mean, you did fight back in the second half with your offense. You put some scores on the board. You talked about hitting those plays that we hadn't seen. It was good to see that vertical passing attack finally coming into play.
Yeah, again, we had some really big plays that were, Coach Rob dialed up some plays that were wide open, and we just didn't get the ball off. And we've got to do a better job of that. Those big shot plays that are going to be there, and I feel like we got playmakers. I thought Trey Hall had a magnificent game, really making some big plays, and I thought we blocked well, and offensively. And again, it was just whether it was bad field position or whether it was getting behind the chains, we just couldn't get our momentum going and getting a really good rhythm offensively. Defensively, I thought we played within the scheme and had a good plan. I think their quarterback just bailed them out in some really tough situations, didn't make any mistakes. He's a 3-year starter and been to the state championship 3 years, and I thought he got them out of a lot of bad situations. And so I'd love to have a chance to play him again. I think we could do better than we played.
Yeah, we talked about Barnett. He was as good as advertised, a very good quarterback for him. Absolutely. So one thing, Coach, that really surprised me, we were uncharacteristically bad at special teams last Friday night. I thought a shank punt, mishandled field goal snaps. We allowed them for onside kicks. Yep. We talked about the importance of special teams, especially when you're playing good teams like that, those hidden yards, those extra points that you may get off special teams. How do we clean up those mistakes?
Yeah, that was the main talking points. One of the many main talking points Monday of we've won a lot of ball games here, and we pride ourselves, like you said, on being better than everybody else in special teams, and we were not. And whether it's a lack of coaching or lack of focus or bad breaks and all that stuff that goes along with it, we must be better there. We must be more attentive, and we've got to be better in that area because special teams is mighty important, especially at the high school level. And we spent a lot of time on it, and we expect to be better in that area. So we worked hard on it. And, it was just you nailed it on the head. It was just one thing after the other. We had momentum, missed a snap on the extra point field goal, and you give up a onside kick that we talked about quite some time and worked on, and they executed it very well. And the punts and just one thing after another, and we've got to be better in that area because it sure has been beneficial to us winning a lot of ball games.
Well, even in every loss, there are positives that you could take away as a coach. I know that you did find positives in the game. I saw positives. I think we all did. What are some of the positives, though, that you recognize that you can build on as we move forward into region play?
Well, I think, we put a lot on our defense schematic-wise. We had a lot in our game plan. I thought we executed it well. It's personnel and packages and different things of that nature. But I think we got to see really firsthand what a big-time ball club, a big-time night, big-time atmosphere feels like on the field, and they were very good on third downs and that kind of situation stuff. Again, we're bringing back limited starters, so that was our first real, experience of just the cat and mouse game on third downs and just the really minute details. That's just the small margins of winning and losing. It was a good experience for us. We've got to learn from it, and we've got to grow from it. I liked that aspect of it. Again, we did not play very well, and our boys know it, and our coaches know it, and wanted to play good. It just didn't work out for us. But again, a break here or there, and we're right in the middle of it as bad as we played. So I still feel like we're a much better ball club than we showed. Now we're going to have to prove that. We're going to have to earn it. We're going to have to get it right. But I think we can be better.
Well, if we take care of business, we've got a chance to play them again, Coach. So that's something to look forward to as we continue to move on. This is Viking Talk, visiting with Coach Josh Morgan. Well, this week, Coach, we're going to have our first true road test. We've had 2 away games here in town, but we're going to be going over to Brandon to take on the Bulldogs. What has the film taught you and the coaching staff about this Bulldog program?
Well, their defensive line is very good. They've returned a lot of those guys from the last 2 years. They do a lot of moving and stemming and blitzing and bringing different people and really being aggressive in that aspect. And, of course, you've got to have studs up front, and they certainly do. I feel like they have a very good combination at running back. I think they have 2 very good backs running behind a pretty experienced offensive line. And I think they've got a young quarterback who's impressive and really puts them in good positions and manages the team very well and can hurt you with his legs and his arm. Really good decision maker. And so they're very balanced. They're just a really good coached and really talented team. I think this group has won the Little Six with this junior and sophomore class. They got a good bunch of young athletes that has some success. And you kind of know what's coming up, when you're watching your 8th and 9th graders. And they've thought very highly of this junior class and junior and sophomore class, and it's pretty evident why.
Yeah, a lot of talent. They do come into this game 2-2, but they're battle tested, Coach. You look at their schedule: Oxford, Madison Central, Clinton, and Terry.
Yeah.
2 losses against Oxford and Madison Central. They're averaging 20 points a game in those losses. You look at their wins; they're averaging over 30 points a game. First-year coach Sam Williams came to them from Ridgeland. He's done an outstanding job in a short period of time. This is going to be an outstanding test for our football team this Friday night.
Big game. We've got to respond the right way. This is major playoff implications. We feel like both of us are playoff teams, but there's limited spots. There's only so many that can go, and you have to scrap and you got to earn it. And that's been another major talking point of ours, and making sure that we all understand that this game is going to have major implications down the road. And you got 2 teams really going after the same thing. So we've got to make sure that we've washed that bad taste out of our mouth. We've got to get off the mat and we've got to respond the right way because we have another really tough opponent that we feel like is going to have some really big indications for the playoffs.
Well, we're going to see one of the top young running backs in the state, 5'10", 225-pound sophomore Nate Blount. We've seen him before last year, also in the 8th grade. Discuss the required effort we're going to need to see, not only from our defensive ends, but from the defensive tackles this week, Coach, to keep him in check.
Well, we need to make sure that we get him off his mark. We have to make him run east and west and not north and south. We've got to make sure that we're spilling holes and fitting the right way. But, you mentioned him, and he's a very physical and had a lot of success coming up. But number one for them as well at tailback, I think he's their best athlete there. And played a corner for him last year. They put him at tailback, and they throw it to him and out of the backfield, and he has been their big time player, and he's got the majority of their touchdowns. So it's a big time combination between the two of those guys, and that'll be the challenge for our defense for sure.
Yeah, we talked about their defensive line. They are a three-man front. We've talked about the challenges that we have running against a three-man front. Nose guard weighs around 300 pounds. He is a big body. He plugs up the hole. He's done a great job for him this year. Discuss the importance of our offensive line winning that battle against their defensive line, and do you think you may need to make any type of blocking adjustment schemes this week, Coach?
Well, we're going to be who we are up front. I think that we, the good thing about it is we've seen an odd front for, the last couple of weeks. It seems like I feel like we're getting a little more confidence in our passing game, which will help us in that box and beginning to get folks out of that box and being able to make them pay when they do crowd it. But again, we've got to do a better job of staying on the field, executing on third downs, and establishing that level of consistency for 4 quarters. And as you mentioned, we want to start early and really dictate and have a great positive impact on the ball game. So we're going to continue to be who we are. Got some minor tweaks and adjustments that we'll make according to the movement that you're talking about and things of that nature, and we're expecting our offense to have a really big night and bounce back.
Well, let's talk about the line. All your years of coaching and, of course, playing and seeing things, it was custom to seeing a 4-down line set. Yeah. Now you're seeing a lot more schools going to a 3-man front. Do you think that's tied to maybe the lack of depth that you're seeing at these programs and not as many kids are playing the sport anymore?
It kind of runs through cycles. Used to everybody, like you said, would see a 4-3 or a 4-4. Some kind of similarity, but we've seen every variation of the odd front. The 5-2, 5-3, 3-3, 3-4. But that's the way people are getting more speed on the field. If a team doesn't have that many D linemen, well, 3 seems a lot more feasible than 5 or 4, and you're able to rotate a bunch of guys. And then when the moving and the blitzing and the slanting comes into play, that helps for quicker guys as well. And so I think that's what goes to a lot of people adapting to what they have, and it allows them to be multiple, allows them to still penetrate and cause, chaos and havoc in gap schemes. So I think it's an idea for folks who are, have that depth that you're talking about, or just like that aggressive style approach and really bring a lot of pressure on in multiple different ways.
It certainly is effective. You've seen it in the college game, the NFL. You're seeing a lot more 3-man fronts with those 4 linebackers. So I guess it is the trend that we're seeing right now. I know we pride ourselves, Coach, as being a running team, and we want to run the ball. But in a game like this, you got at least a 3-man front. You got probably 4 linebackers, maybe some dog safeties coming down in the box. How important is it going to be for our receiving core and our quarterbacks to make those plays down the field this week with the passing game?
As you mentioned, we can't afford to have wasted downs. And when we take those shots, when we have those opportunities, and even in the perimeter screen game, those are ideally, you want them to be long handoffs, and we want to execute in the right way and really open up a whole nother level of our offense, and still feel strong about our receiving core. And I think, again, we're getting a little bit more consistency there with our quarterback play. And so we really need to be hitting on all cylinders, especially this time of the year. And we're hoping for that type of performance from us.
Well, our ninth grade program is wrapping up a very successful season. This Tuesday night, they'll go over to Vicksburg and take on the Gators. That is a very young, well, obviously they're young, they're in ninth grade, but a lot of talent on that squad, Coach. That being said, is there any plan to possibly move some of those younger kids up once their season's over to maybe help you with depth and prepare them for the future?
Well, they have, like you said, they've had a really, really good year, been an impressive group to watch come up, and I think Coach Williams and his staff have done just a great job of investing the time with them. I knew they were going to have a good year based off the summer that they had and the workout. So, we're excited about them. Anytime you talk about moving somebody up, we don't really like to move folks up unless they're going to play immediately, because a lot of those guys are in basketball and a lot of those guys are in different sports, and so we'll look at some things if that's necessary, but. If I don't look at or see a glaring instance where we need to do that at this moment in time, but that sure is, future sure is bright, and we're excited about those guys, and we want them to finish off a really good year next Tuesday.
Yeah, it was fun. They put 46 up on Germantown the other night.
Yeah.
I don't want to give Coach Williams any credit. Every time I do, he gets mad at me, so we're not going to talk good about Coach Williams today, Coach Williams. But no, they did great. And it's exciting too. Our varsity team, our JV, and our ninth grade was able to sweep Germantown this year. So great for the program, great for the coaching staff. Congratulations to you guys on that. But something else I noticed. So our eighth grade team played Germantown the other night. Your son was the quarterback. How is it odd? Is it special to you? What is it seeing your son out there playing quarterback? Do you feel like you get a little bit older watching him?
Yeah, he was coming in getting fitted for helmets, and he was putting on a red helmet. It was kind of like and my brother was helping, get him issued equipment for shoulder pads.
Yeah.
That was kind of when, you kind of step back and you really get to thinking about some things, and it's really, really unique, and it's really awesome. And I'm very proud that he gets to come up with Coach Green and those guys, and he's loving it and loving his buddies, and it's kind of what we want for all our kids to have a really good experience, and we always want it to be what they think it's going to be like. We don't ever want to disappoint them, so we run our programs. We put a lot in it, and we try to make it the very best because we want kids to love being a Viking, and he sure does love that, and it's been fun to watch him be excited about it.
Well, it is fun to poke at you about your age too, so we'll
I
continue to do
that.
that. Well, you get a chance to do me too. It's no big deal. I hate to ask this type of question, but we're going to anyway. Obviously, it's very early in the season for you, Coach. But are you looking at this game this week against Brandon as a must-win game?
We are, and we'll reevaluate whatever happens after Friday night. We have to, like you mentioned, 0-2 is sure a big difference than 1-1.
Right.
And anytime that you're playing a playoff type opponent, it's really like getting beat twice or getting 2 wins, because not only do you get a win, but you get the head-to-head, which is going to come to some tiebreakers.
Right.
Anybody that's watched our district last year, there's always a tiebreaker in there, and it usually comes to the last game of the year. Mm-hmm. Don't expect anything to be different this year. I feel like there's 6, maybe 7 truly playoff teams, and there's 4 spots. And so these head-to-head games against those opponents are very important, and we want to play better. We got to respond. And we're going to be away against a very good football team, and we better have our stinger out and our dukes ready, because it's going to be that type of ball game, and we need to come out victorious.
Well, I know there was a lot of disappointment with the players after the game against Oak Grove. The coach is disappointed as well. How has everyone responded this week to practice?
We should be disappointed, but I'm glad we're disappointed. I mean, we were trying. We felt, and again, we felt as if we were going to win that game, deserved to win it going in. Did not play well enough to earn a victory for sure, but the anticipation and the expectations were that we wanted to win and we expected to win. Mm-hmm. And proud of our guys for that, proud of our culture for that. We did not play well. I think that doesn't sit well with us, and I think we're anxious to play better, hopefully. And we've called the idea is you have to look at yourself in the mirror, every one of us, and try to get better and learn from it, and to respond, and we'll have an opportunity to respond, and hopefully we'll be better from what's happened to us. And it goes back to the old saying, you either adversity introduces you to yourself. So we've had some adversity, and we'll see how we respond.
Well, what's going to be the keys to beating this Bulldog team, Coach?
You know, I feel like if we'll play at a high level, and we have to do a really good job of in third downs on both sides of the football. I think we learned that and how important that was last week. I think we need to do a better job staying on the field and converting third downs. And I think on defensively, we've got to find a way to get off the field. And I think we need to make sure that we're not overlooking the small things as far as running the ball and turnovers in those aspects. And I think it's going to come down, to be honest with you, special teams, as we mentioned. I think these two teams are, very similar, very even. And so anywhere there's an edge in there could have an outcome on the game. So we're going to play one play at a time and treat it like it's that special play and be ready for a hard-fought district game.
Let's go get them, Coach. Looking forward to it. Oh, before we leave, Ole Miss, Alabama this weekend. How bad is Bama beating Ole Miss? Be honest with us.
How bad is
Alabama? Yeah, how bad is Bama?
It's at Alabama.
It's at Alabama, right?
And Ole Miss is they're hot right now. They're
right.
a hot topic right now.
But you're an old dog. I want you to tell me the truth.
I am. They better watch Ole Miss, number one. But I think Saban will have those guys ready, and I think they'll beat them by 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. You heard it, folks. All right, State going to Texas A&M. Can Mike Leach get that upset win this weekend?
You can't count them out. That's just
right.
as soon as you write them off and leave them for dead, they'll come up and it's kind of like when you're playing golf and you get that one shot that brings
That's
you back,
right? That's right.
State of pop you open as soon as you write them off. So I'm hoping that they can respond, and A&M looks like they're struggling in some areas to find their identity. So I think if State plays well, they've got just as good a chance as A&M does.
Well, you heard it, folks. State by 1,000. Ole Miss is losing by 2 touchdowns. It's going to be a great weekend. Coach, thank you for your time today. Well, regardless of how you watch us this weekend, if you travel with us over to Brandon or listen to us on live stream or the radio, we really appreciate your support. Thank you for coming out, being a great crowd last Friday night. Next Friday night, we will be back home taking on Northwest Rankin Homecoming 2021. We look forward to seeing you. Welcome all our alumni to come back home and see us. We're going to put on a great show for you. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the show. I'm Brandon Davis. He's Josh Morgan. We'll see you next week. Until then, rise up, Vikings.